Once upon a time, there was a beautiful, colorful fair on the edge of a town. There were stalls, games, rides, and attractions of every color imaginable. Children ran laughing from game to game, while others made wishes on colorful balloons that floated above their heads. Among them was a little boy who clutched a large red balloon in his hand. But suddenly the wind picked up and tugged at the boy and his balloon. In a flash, the little one broke free of his mother's grasp and floated high above the fair. No one could have guessed what would happen next. Meanwhile, high above the noisy fairground, two eagles circled lazily in the vast expanse of the endless blue sky. These birds had been trained for a long time to perform various tricks and stunts at the fair. They were truly amazing. However, even the most skilled circus animals sometimes wish they could soar freely in the sky instead of performing for the amusement of others. And this desire overwhelmed the eagles more than ever that evening. As if summoned by an invisible force, they began to descend lower and lower, eventually hovering over the surprised townspeople. At first, no one paid any attention to them. Everyone was too busy trying to find the little boy who had floated away in a hot air balloon. His mother's cries echoed across the fairground and tore everyone's hearts. Nobody could calm her down. The woman was desperate. She kept repeating, my God, where's my baby?" Suddenly, one of the eagles let out a loud cry. It was so piercing that people turned their heads toward the bird of prey. This cry seemed to say, I see, I see. The eagle looked in the direction of the red dot on the horizon. With renewed determination, the eagle spread its powerful wings and swooped down toward the tiny balloon. Its sharp eyesight could easily spot the baby inside and assess the situation. Meanwhile, the wind continued to carry the balloon further and further away from the city. By now, the little boy inside had stopped crying. He was probably scared, confused, and didn't understand what was happening. But fate had not abandoned him. A miracle was about to happen. As the eagle approached the balloon, it let out a series of sharp, quick cries. This was its way of telling the people below where it had found the missing child. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Look, the eagle's found him. It's going after him." And indeed, the eagle was making every effort to reach the floating baby. It had already gained a lot of altitude, and now began to descend slowly and carefully. But the wind was not making things easier. It kept pushing the balloon further and further away. The eagle followed, determined not to give up. As it got closer, it saw that the baby was alone in the basket and quickly untied the blanket that had been covering him. The eagle knew it had to act quickly. If it didn't, the wind might carry the balloon even further and higher. It was too risky. Without wasting a moment, the eagle swooped down and managed to grab the blanket in its strong beak. The plan was simple. The bird would fly up while holding the blanket, and the people on the ground would pull on a thick rope attached to the balloon. It was the only way to bring the balloon down safely. But there was a problem. The eagle couldn't hold on to the blanket for long, because it was getting heavier as the wind pushed the balloon higher and higher. The eagle had to do something else. Suddenly, it spotted the basket's handle and decided to use it. Grabbing the handle with its strong beak, the eagle took off again. The people on the ground cheered loudly. It was clear that the eagle had managed to grab onto the basket and was now taking the baby away from danger. However, the wind was still strong, and the eagle had to make every effort to keep control of the situation. But just as the eagle reached the trees, the wind suddenly shifted direction and pushed the balloon back up. The eagle felt the weight of the basket pulling it down. Despite its efforts, it started to lose altitude. This was a critical moment. If the eagle couldn't regain altitude, the basket could fall into the forest, and the baby might get hurt. The eagle had to act quickly. It let out a loud screech, alerting the people below to the change in plans. It couldn't deliver the basket to them directly. Instead, the eagle began circling over the clearing, trying to catch its breath. It needed to regain strength to make another attempt. Meanwhile, the people on the ground were also doing everything they could. They ran around the clearing, trying to find a way to help the eagle and the baby. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Quick! We need to create a clearing. If we cut down these trees, the balloon won't hit anything when it falls." Everyone nodded in agreement and rushed to grab axes and saws. Soon, the trees were cut down and a wide open space appeared in the forest. But there was still no sign of the eagle. The people waited anxiously, not knowing whether the eagle and the baby would make it. Suddenly, they heard the sound of wings beating the air. The eagle was returning. It had regained its strength and was ready for a final attempt. This time, the eagle had a new strategy. Instead of trying to land, it planned to grab the basket's handle with its sharp claws and drag it down. The eagle swooped down low over the clearing, aiming to snatch the basket with its claws. The people held their breath, watching intently. Would it work? Suddenly, the eagle's claws touched the basket. It felt like time stopped for a moment. Then the eagle gave a sharp tug and dragged the basket upwards. It started to descend slowly and carefully. The people erupted in cheers. It was working. The eagle was successfully bringing the basket down. Finally, the eagle reached the clearing. It landed gracefully and let go of the basket with a soft thud. It was over. The baby was safe. Everyone rushed to the spot where the basket landed, but they couldn't believe their eyes. The inside of the basket was empty. The baby was gone. As the people looked around in confusion, they heard a soft giggle. They turned their heads toward the sound and saw the baby crawling happily on the ground. The eagle had managed to bring him back safely. The wind must have loosened the ropes while the eagle was dragging the basket, and the baby managed to crawl out unnoticed. As the people watched in amazement, the baby looked up at the eagle and smiled. It was the happiest smile they had ever seen. The eagle also seemed pleased with itself. It had completed its mission. Carefully, the people picked up the baby and hurried to reunite him with his tearful mother. When the woman saw her baby safe and sound, she couldn't hold back her tears. She hugged him tightly and thanked the eagle with tears in her eyes. The eagle felt the woman's gratitude, and pride swelled within it. It had saved a life. From that day on, the eagle was no longer just a circus performer. It was a true hero, a guardian who had saved the life of an innocent child. As for the little boy, he never forgot the bird that had saved him. He grew up to become a kind and brave man, always remembering the day when an eagle brought him back to his mother.